Good afternoon, this is Chris the Old Guy, and I thought I'd shoot a short video. Maybe it might be a little bit longer than anticipated, but I got a lot of stuff to do. I've got some good news. I'm officially an eBay seller, obviously. Uh, I have some cards on set up for sale. I just realized or found out that I can go to the local game shop and I could grade cards, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Um, and I'm going to I'm gonna vault a few. I might not vault a few. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm definitely not gonna sell the big ones. I just price checked a few cards that I have once again, and if they're PSA 10, you're looking at $200. 200. Then the other one's 50, and a few others are they're 70 or so of hop. I'm gonna grade. The intention is to grade some autos that I have, and I'm going to grade some low number serial number cards, and then a few other cards, about 10 of them. And I'll present that eventually. But today, we are going to do 4 retail, 4 hobby, a dollar box pack, a hanger, and from the back here, we're looking at, I'm going to go through, well, we went through 91 Fleer Ultra, but I didn't exactly show what the card looked like in the back. You didn't really get a good sense of what the card looked like. So I'm going to do that right now. I didn't really give a good picture of what they look like in the back. But here's what they look like in the back. Rance Mulliniks. I need Chris James, Carlos Baega, Bo Allard, and I want another checklist 400 because it's got a scratch to it. And I'm going to get another Frank Thomas because it's cheap. They printed out a lot for this set and those sets back in the 90s to the point where they were printing out errors and they didn't check the production, I guess. But I've noticed, or I found out there's some errors in this Fleer 91 set. I don't know about Fleer 92 Ultra. Keep in mind, the Fleer 91 Ultra and Fleer 92 Ultra. So, what to open up first? I'd like to go through this set. 93 Fleer Ultra. And I'm sorry, 92 Fleer Ultra. Oh, these are sharp cards. They remind me of Stadium Club. The original Stadium Club cards. I'll just go through a few of them. Bob Welch, Greg Briley, Jay Buhner, Del Luca. There's Griffey, Eric Hansen, Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, Tito Martinez, Pete O'Brien, Harold Reynolds, Dave LaValle, Julio Franco. Let's see what the cards look like on the back. Wow. They put them in teams. So here's Juan Gonzalez, Jeff Hudson, Mike Jeffcoat, Trey Matthews, Rafael Palmeiro, Dean Palmer, Gino Pertali, Ivan Rodriguez, Jeff Russell. There's the Express. Good condition. Keep in mind, you got to have these pristine at a PSA 10 to get anything out of it. Ruben Sierra, Roberto Alomar, Pat Borders, Joe Carter, Kelly Gruber, Jimmy Key, Manny Lee, Rance Mulliniks, Greg Myers, John Olerud, Rusty Staub, Todd Stottlemyre, Dwayne Ward, Devon White. Originally played for the Angels, now he's playing for the Jays. And this has got the 91 season. I believe the 91 season, the Blue Jays won that World Series. Steve Avery and Rafael Bellerard. Really sharp cards. I opened some of the mail because I know it's going to be a long video, and I didn't exactly look at the mail, but I basically wanted to see, cut the time down. This is a 400 card set, I believe. And it goes as far as it's a 600 card set, I believe. They increased the size of it. Back then the cards were either 600 or 792, if I remember right. Alright, let's see what we got. Glenn Davis playing for the Baltimore Orioles. Mike Devereaux, Dwight Evans, Dewey, Leo Gomez, Chris Holly, Sam Horn, Cheeto Martinez, Randy Mulligan, Mike Messina, Billy Ripken, Cal Ripken, Top Hernansky, Ellis Burks, Jack Clark, Roger, Mike Greenwell, Joe Hesketh, Tony Pena, Carlos Quintana, Jeff Reardon, Jody Reed, Luis Rivera, Mo Vaughn, Gary Descarnia, Chuck Finley, Gary Gaetti, Brian Harvey, Lance Parrish, Louis Bonilla, Dick Schofield, Louis Sowell, Wilson Alvarez, Carlton Fisk, Greg Krebeck, Ozzie Guillen, Mike Hibbard, Charlie Hu. There's a stuck card on the back of this one. Lance Johnson, Ron Cogvinici, Jack McDowell, Donna Paul, Molino Perez, Tim Raines, also known as Rock Raines, Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, Sandy Alomar Jr., Carlos Baerga. I seen that card going for when he was hitting home runs, 45, 50. Albert Bell, Jerome Brown, Felix Fermin, Reggie Jefferson, Mark Lewis, Carlos Martinez, Steve Olin, Jim Thome, rookie, I believe. The reason why I wanted this set. Yep. Carter with a Pinnacle card. This has got a mix of fucking Pinnacle cards. Excuse my language. Luis Gonzalez. This has got to be 92 Pinnacle. Nice cards. Scott Kavaniski, Mark Whitten, Dave Bergman, Mill Kyler, Rob Deere, Cecil Fielder, Travis Fermin, Scott Livingston, Tony Phillips. You see what the Pinnacle cards look like from the 90. This is 92. Wasn't supposed to get the Pinnacle set. I was supposed to get specifically Fleer Ultra. Greg Bergman, Mill Kyler, Rob Deere, Cecil Fielder, Travis Fermin, Scott Livingston, Tony Phillips, Mickle Templeton, Allen. Here's my man. Lou Whitaker, Sweet Lou, Kevin Appier, Mike Budiker, George Brett, Jim Eisenbeck, Mike Gubazaw, Dave Howard, Joe Johnson, Mike McFarland, Brett Main, Brian McRae. These are some really nice cards. Even though it's junk wax, but the pictures stand out. Everything is pretty much Jeff Montgomery, Tony Shumpert, Don August, Dante Bichette, Bo Bichette's brother or father, Teddy O'Gara, Paul Malidor, Jamie Navarro, Gary Sheffield, Bill Spires, BJ Suroff, Greg Vaughn, Robin Yount, Rick Aguilera, Chili Davis, Scott Erickson, Brian Harpier, Kent Kerbeck, Chuck Knobloch. Rookie of the Year that year, Scott Leas, Shane Mack, Mike Pagliarulo, Kirby Puckett. Kevin Tempany, Jesse Barfield, Alfred Espinola, Mel Hall, Pat Kelly, Roberto Kelly, Kevin Maas, Don Mattingly, Ashley Mullins, Matt Noakes, Steve Sachs, Harold Baines, Jose Canseco, Ron Darling, Mike Gallego, Dave Henderson, Ricky Henderson, Mark McGuire, Terry Steinbeck, Dave Stewart, Todd Van Poppel, Jeff Blauser, Sid Bream, Ron Gant, Tom Glavine, Brian Hunter, Dave Justice, Mark Lemke, Greg Olson, Terry Pendleton, Lonnie Smith, John Smoltz, Mike Stanton. Jeff Treadway, Paul Assemacher, George Bell, Sean Dunstan, Mark Grace, Danny Jackson, Lee Lancaster, Greg Maddox, Luis Salazar, Ray Sanchez, Ryan Sandberg, Jose Vizcaino, Chico Walker, Jerome Dalton, Glenn Braggs, Tom Browning, Rob Dibble, Bill Doran, Chris Hamp, Billy Hatcher, Barry Larkin, Hal Morris. Well, I don't see Dawson. Paul O'Neill, Chris Hammond, Billy Hatcher, Hal Morris, Joe Oliver, Paul O'Neill, Jeff Reed, Jose Rio, Chris Sabo, Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, Ken Caminiti, Andrew Arcedino, Steve Finley, Luis Gonzalez, Pete Harness, Xavier Hernandez, and rookie, Daryl Kyle, Al Oshuna, Kurt Schilling, Brett Butler, Cal Daniels, Lenny Harris, Steve Javier, Raymond Martinez, what a good pitcher he was, Roger McDowell, Jose Offerman, Juan Samuel playing for the Dodgers, Sosha, Mike Peterson, Darryl Strawberry playing for the Dodgers, Delano DeShields, Tim Foley, Steve Frey, Dennis Martinez, Spike Owen, Gilberto Reyes, Tim Wallach, Daryl Boston, Tim Burke, Vince Coleman, David Coney, Kevin Eltzer, Dwight, Mike Hundley, Jeff Innes, Howard Johnson, Dave Magadan, Mike Sasser, Anthony Young, Wes Chamberlain, Darren Dalton, Lenny Dykstra, Tommy Green, Charlie Hayes, Dave Hollins, Ricky Jordan, John Kruk, McKee Mordini, Terry Molan, Dale Murphy playing for the Phillies, Jay Bell, Barry, decent condition, Steve Buechele, Doug Drabeck, Mike Levine, Jose Lane. This is the year that I believe the Blue Jays played the Pirates and the Pirates lost. I was mistaken that the Pirates won the World Series. McLennan, Merced, Don Slott, they have back in the 70s. John Smiley, Zane Smith, Randy Tolpin, Andy Van Slyke, Pedro Guerrero, Felix Jose, Ray Langford. All right, I'm pushing 19 minutes, but I guess it's worth it. Omar Alvarez, Jose Oquindo, Tom Prognosi, Brian Smith, Lee Smith, Ozzie Smith, Milt Thompson, Todd Zeal, Anthony Bennis, Gerald Clark, Tony Fernandez, Tony Gwynn, Greg Harris, Thomas Howard, Bruce Hurst, Mike Maddox, Fred McGriff, playing for San Diego, Benito Santiago, Kevin Bass, Jeff Brantley, John Burkett, Will Clark, Royce Clayton. Steve Decker, Kelly Downs, Mike Fielder, Darrell Lewis, Matt Warning, Willie McGee playing for the Giants, Robbie Thompson, Matt Williams, Trevor Wilson, Ultra Checklist. This is the first one, and the second one, and the third one goes up to 300. 301. Bobby Anderson, Fort Worth, Ben McDonald, Mark Lamore, Jose Mesa, Bob Malachy, Greg Olson, David Segui, Rick Sutcliffe, Jeff Tackett, Wade Boggs, Scott Cooper, Jeff Flattery, Wayne Housey, Peter Hoy, John Morazzo, Tim Neffing, Phil Plantier, Frank Viola, Matt Young, Jim Abbott, Hubie Brooks, Chad Curtis, Alvin Davis, Junior Felix, Von Hayes, Mark Langston, Steve Lewis, Don Robinson, Bobby Rose, Pete Rose's son, Lee Stevens, George Bell, Estienne Beltre, I believe that's the cousin of Adrian Beltre, Joey Cora, Alex Hernandez, Roberto Hernandez, Mike Huff, Kirk McCaskill, Dan Pasqua, Scott Bernansky, Steve Sachs, Bobby Thigpen, Robin Ventura, Jack Armstrong, Alex Cole, Dennis Cook, Glenn Allen Hill, another player from the area that I saw play in Syracuse, Thomas Howard, Brooke Jacoby, Kenny Lofton, Charles Nagy, Rod Nichols, Junior Ortiz, Dave Otto, Scott Schroeder, Paul Sorrento, Skeeter Barnes. Mark Cameron, John Daughtery, Danny Gladden, Bill Gillickson, Sean Hare, Mike Henneman, Chad Kruder, Mark Leader, Al Leader's brother, Mike Munoz, Kevin Rutz, Mark Davis, Tom Gordon, Chris Gwynn, Tony Gwynn's brother, Greg Jeffries playing for the Royals, Wally Joyner playing for the Royals, Kevin McReynolds, Keith Miller, Rick Rossi, Curtis Wilson, Ricky Bones, Chris Bosio. Oh, I didn't see Bo Jackson, Carl Eldred, Scott Fletcher. Somebody picked out Dawson and Jackson out of this set because I don't see them. Jim Ganter, Darrell Hamilton, of course I might be wrong, Doug Henry, Pat Listes, Tim McIntosh, Edwin Nunez, Dan Plesac, Kevin Seitzer, Franklin Stubbs, William Suro, Bill Wegman, Willie Banks, Jarvis Brown, Greg Gagne, Mike Guthrie, Bill Kruger, Pat Mahomes, Peter Munoz, John Smiley, Greg Wayne. These are sharp looking pictures of cards. Fleer really did itself good years ago. Lenny Webster, Carl Wells, Greg Cadet, Steve Farr, Mike Gallego, Charlie Hayes, Steve Howe, Deion James, Jeff Johnson, Tim Leary, Jim Laritz, Nolito Perez, Scott Sanderson, Andy Stankinwitz, Mike Stanley, Danny Tardival, Lance Blankenship, Mike Bordick, Scott Broses, Dennis Eckersley, Scott Hammond, Carney Lanford, Mike Rickettis, Mike Moore, Gene Nelson, Randy Reddy, Bruce Wilton, Willie Wilson, Rick Amell, David Cochran, Henry Cotto, Calvin Jones, Kevin Mitchell, Clay Parker, Omar Vizquel, Floyd Bannister, Kevin Brown. So I believe this was a 600 card set. I think I'm up to 458. John Kalvineski, Brian Bowning, Monty Ferris, Jose Guzman, Donald Harris, Kevin Rayner, Kenny Rogers, Wayne Rosenthal, Dickie Thon, Derek Bell, another player I saw play for Syracuse. Juan Guzman, Tom Henke, Candy Maldonado, Jack Morris, David Wells, Dave Winfield for the Blue Jays, Juan Berenger, Damian Berryhill, Mike Balecki, Marvin Freeman, Charlie Labert, Kevin Merker, Otis Nixon, Alorando Pena, Ben Rivera, Deion Sanders. When he was playing two sports, Mark Bullers, Shane Bosky, Frank Castillo. There he is. He was traded this year. Dawson, Andre Dawson, Joe Girardi, Chuck Milroy, Mike Morgan, Ken Patterson, Rob Skellen, Gary Scott, Dan Smith, Sammy Sosa, Hector Villanueva, Scott Bankhead, Tim Belcher, Freddie Benavides, Jacob Brumfield, Norm Charlton, Dwayne Henry, Dave Martinez, Biff Roberts, Reggie Sanders, no relation to Deion, Greg Swindell, Ryan Bowman, Casey Kendall, Juan Guerrero, Pete Incaviglia playing for the Astros, Jeff Juden, Rob Murphy, Mark Portugal, Rafael Ramirez, Scott Service, Ed Taubenes, Brian Williams, Todd Benziner, John Candelaria. So it's going to be a long video. We got cards to open and Tom Candonati, Tim Cruz, Eric Davis, Jim Gott, Dave Hannison, Carlos Hernandez, Oral Hershiser, Eric Karros, Bobby Ojeda, Steve Wilson, Moises Alou, a relative of the great Alou, Brett Barbary, Ivan Calderon, Gary Carter, Archie Chianko, Jeff Facerito, Darren Fletcher, Marcus Grissom, let's see here. Another rookie, Chris Manley, Ken Hill, Chris Novelts, Bill Sampion, David Wainhouse, Larry Walker, John Wetland, Bobby Bonilla, Sid Fernandez, John Franco, David Gallagher, Paul Gibson, Eddie Murray playing for the Mets, Junior Noboa, Charlie O'Brien, Bill Pesota, Willie Randolph, Brett Saberhagen, Dick Schofield, Pete Skolbrek, Ruben Amaro, Andy Ashby, Kim Baptiste, Cliff Brantley, Mariano Duncan, Jeff Grotuold, Barry Jones, Julio Peguero, Kurt Schilling, Mitch Williams, Stan Belinda, Scott Bullitt, Cecil Espy, Jeff King, Roger Mason, another rookie, Paul Miller. And lastly, Denny Nagel, Vincent Palacios, Bob Patterson, Tom Prince, Gary Reedus, Gary Varsho, Juan Augusto, Chris Carpenter, Mark Clark, rookie, Jose De Leon, Rich Gedman, Bernard Gilkey, Rex Hudler, Tom Jones, Donald Osborne, Mike Perez, Gerald Perry, Todd Worrell. Some of these cards, it's been a while since these cards are opened up. They're kind of sticky a little bit. Dave Elian, Jeremy Hernandez. This is the way the card should. I like some of the designs of the cards that come out now, but just the picture of the player and the outside without any border is just fascinating. Craig Lefferts, Jose Melendez, Randy Myers, what's this? Gary Pettis, Rich Rodriguez, Gary Sheffield, Craig Shipley, Kurt Stillwell, Rod Beck, Tim Tuffle, Dave Burba, Craig Colbert, Mike Jackson, Mark Leonard, Jim McNamara, John Peterson, Dave Righetti, Corey Snyder, Phil Swift, Ted Wood, and these are the rest of the checklists. And it goes all the way up to 600. And then we have some pinnacle cards. Edgar, Darren Jackson, Walt Weiss, and Brett Boone. How about that? Aaron Boone's brother. Any Nego. Yes, that's what they look like in the back. Wow. I'm gonna have to go through the set and see what's missing. I don't think there's anything missing, but you never know. And I got some bonus cards. So I guess you can say I like the seller. Let's see here. If I can put them in order. Okay. I'm just putting the cards back in the box and basically trying to keep the numbers somewhat orderly. But I will go through the set at a later time and find out what's needed and what's not, you know. These are just great cards. Like the first Upper Deck set that come out, and the 91, 92, 93 set. I only have I have a partial of the 92, and I have the 89 or the 91. I have partial. And I have the original set that come. Let's see here. Might be missing some cards. From 170 to 157, but I have to go through the set. It's nice that I got some extra cards that were, you know, Pinnacle is basically score, if I remember right. Alright, thank you very much. Now we're going to open this. This comes from Dollar. Cost me 20. Got a list. We got Alex DeJesus, Black and White Ray Wave, Miguel Vargas, Rookie, Jordan Alvarez, Rainbow Foil, Josh Lowe, Rookie, Factor X Factor, Tyler Soderstrom, Zach Gallup, Rookie, AL Elo, Leaders, Verlander, Dylan's Case, Alec Monarch. It is a 23 gold probably. Ken Caminiti, Jordan Lawler, Scott Rowland, Wilson Contreras, Patrick Corbin, X Factor, Rafael Devers, Jake Cornwell, First Bowman, Dave Winfield, Turkey Red, Chris Sale, Ozzy Elbrus, Sepia Refactor, Gavin Williams, X Factor RC, Rookie, and Overreaching Battery, 22. So I think I got some gold cards. And then I got some extra cards that weren't even, they might have missed my list is short, but there's some extra cards in here that I didn't order that I'm looking at right now. And I got some cards as a bonus.